That was Stephen Josie Davis making his case for a pardon. Police arrested him for having his legally owned gun in his car's glove compartment. New Jersey only allows drivers to transport a gun unloaded and in the trunk of a car. He was arrested, and his subsequent guilty plea means the one-time security guard now has a felony record, and he cannot fulfill his dream of being a cop. But he's got 85,000 signatures on an online petition supporting his request for a pardon from New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. Here to debate it, New Jersey Attorney Aaron Ehrlich and criminal defense attorney Jay Abt. Welcome, both of you. We appreciate it.
Josie Davis, he gave 4 different versions of his story to the police and prosecutors. And, you know, when I defend my clients, we talk about consistency of message. We tell one story to the judge, the prosecutor, and the jury. When you tell 4 different versions of the facts, it means most or all of them are lies. This guy's not trustworthy, and the law is there to prevent stupid people and careless people from having access to guns, and that's just what they did here. If he's so intent on getting a second bite at the apple, then he should have his lawyers file a motion for new trial or habeas and go in front of a jury and decide whether he was guilty or innocent. Clearly he was guilty. He'll be convicted, and it'll even get worse for him. The problem here is the bigger picture. We have 30,000 people a year in the United States who get killed by handguns, another 75,000 that end up with non-fatal injuries in hospitals. The taxpayers spend $2.3 billion a year paying for those medical bills for those people shot by guns. We all bear that burden. And so gun laws are there in New Jersey, particularly this concealed carry law, to prevent stupid and careless people from having access to guns, so it saves all of us in society from having more shootings and more deaths, and that's just what this law did. This guy was careless, then he lied to the police, and now he shouldn't have a gun. It's the end of the story.
And to that point, Aaron, though, how does one forget that you have a loaded gun in your glove compartment? That seems as though that's not exactly the kind of person you want who is responsible enough to be a police officer.
Look, and we can appreciate that argument, but it's not whether we believe his story or we don't believe his story. He's just an example. Let's assume, for the sake of exploring whether this law is going too far, if his story is true. Let's say the story is true. Let's say you've got a young guy with absolutely a meticulous background, no criminal history, no prior course of conduct that was objectionable or problematic. He goes, he purchases a lawful gun, he goes and gets a permit, or he applies for the permit to be able to carry that gun. And within a week of that permit being issued to him, he goofs, he screws up. He forgets that he puts the gun in his glove compartment to hide it from his little 6-year-old sister.
He screwed up, which is why we don't want him having a gun.
Well, we're gonna leave it at that.
Does that mean he gets to be a felon?
Well,
Aaron, let him have a trial in front of a jury. Let him have a trial in front of a jury.
He did plead guilty.
But the judiciary can't change it from a second-degree offense to a lesser offense. He's going to be a convicted felon just from the act. This is a guy with no history. He was a security guard. He went through a rigorous background check before he was able to get that position. He was aspiring to be a police officer. You have a law
that's why we prevent. That's why these laws prevent so many deaths in the United States every year.
Well, all of that is up for debate and for another day. Aaron, we're going to have to leave it there. We appreciate both of you guys. Aaron Ehrlich, Jay Abt, thank you both for joining us. Your insights and analysis, as well as we pointed out, he did waive his right to a jury trial and pled guilty. Thank you both. Talk to you.